Welcome to Pimpy's Investment Chat, where we keep investment talk simple. And here's your host, Pimpy.
What is going on out there, peeps? All right, some good news coming out of Iraq, along with some interesting news. We know the government is still trying to get formed. There's a lot of meetings taking place between political blocs. Everybody's trying to get their piece of the pie, including individuals that are outside of the country. There's some news about Iran that should make people concerned, especially over there in Iraq. We'll cover those here in just a moment. But first, if you can hit the thumbs up button, it does help the video get past the YouTube algorithms and gets out there to the people who are not subscribed. And if you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. Y'all know if you're thinking about buying gold and silver, go to our friends over that Money Metals Exchange. That's right. Investopedia's best overall bullion dealer, second year in a row. And when you go to buy your gold and silver, and it's for your first time, if you spend more than $100, use promo code Pimpy, P-I-M-P-Y, and you will get a free half ounce of silver. We love free 99. How many people remember this? I'm old enough to remember this. When Iraq left Kuwait, they lit all the fields on fire. I don't know if you guys remember that. And it was a big eco hazard. You know, you could see pictures from the sky of all the clouds from the oil fields burning. Yeah, I remember that. Back to the parliament. What's going on there? Well, the parliament's legal advisor, the House of Representatives, must set a new date for the session to elect the president of Iraq, which is interesting because the Constitution says they have to do it within so many days of the Speaker of the Parliament being chosen. I think it's 10 days, and we're way past that point at the moment. So what happens if they don't come up with a consensus president within a period of time? I wonder if it just defaults back to Soleil. It's interesting what's going on there. So Parliament must set a date for them to once again come together and vote on who will be the president of the Republic of Iraq. Meanwhile, the federal court set the date for pleading the case against acceptance of Zabari election to the presidency. Remember, this is the candidate who has been accused of spending billions of dollars of Iraqi Dinar. You know, he was spending it on the rent money for his security forces as well as his employees, which, I don't know. If I'm an employee there, I'm pretty happy about that. But again, if it's unauthorized, you can understand why there is corruption charges against him. So it said the federal court set the date for pleading the case against the acceptance of Zabari election to the presidency. The federal Supreme Court has set a date for the pleading. It says the judiciary media stated in a brief statement, the Euphrates News received a copy of it, that the federal Supreme Court has set next Sunday as a date for filing the lawsuit against accepting the election of Zabari for the presidency of the Republic. The federal Supreme Court had issued a statement order to stop the procedures for the nomination of Zabari for the position of president of the Republic until the resolution of this case. It would seem to me that the Supreme Court would move much quicker, considering they know that there's a constitutional deadline in this, and the whole nation is waiting to see who the president's going to be. But it doesn't look like they're in any real hurry. Now, this is awesome news. This is one huge step going in the right direction. Iraq fulfilled its obligation. The UN Committee supervising compensation for Kuwait ends its mandate. So it is now officially ended, even though they had paid this quite some time ago, but at least the official word is out now. All debt for compensation is paid in full. The United Nations Compensation Authority announced on Thursday that Iraq has completed paying $52.4 billion to compensate individuals, companies, and governments for the damages of the 1990 invasion and occupation of Kuwait. Overall, about 2.7 million claims have been filed, with a confirmed value of $352.5 billion, but the United Compensation Commission has agreed to pay $52.4 billion, covering 1.5 million successful claims. Of course, we all know this, that the largest claim approved for compensation was a $14.7 billion in damages to the Kuwait Petroleum Corporation (KPC), in which departing Iraq forces set oil wells ablaze. Gosh, I remember watching in the news all the time. They weren't even sure how to put the fires out. We had some people. There was a couple companies here in the United States that had figured out how to put the fires out. They use what looked like the tin roofing, and then they go over and then they would cap it off. It was interesting to watch, but little by little, they wouldn't put each one out. So with the final payment of compensation that was made on January the 13th of this year, all compensation awarded by the Commission has now been paid in full, the Geneva-based body said in a statement following a closed-door meeting of its board of directors. The government of Iraq has fulfilled its international obligation to compensate all the claimants who were awarded compensation by the committee for the losses and damages that occurred as a direct result of illegal invasion of Kuwait. So, are we going to get the official ending of Chapter 7 next? As far as the presidency is concerned, they might not even wait to see if Zabari is cleared by the courts. I don't know how long this court case is going to take, but it looks like the Democratic Party is not going to wait. It says the president of the Kurdistan Democratic Party meets with Talabani and a close agreement to nominate Barzani for the presidency of the republic. Now that's been talked about before, and it was said that he would be accepted by the other political blocs. So the president of the Kurdistan Democratic Party, Barzani, held a meeting with the co-chair of the Patriotic Unit, Talabani. So the informed source told the news, there's a political agreement that is being prepared now to nominate Barzani for the presidency instead of the current candidates, noting that parties are pushing for dialogue to announce Barzani as a candidate for the blocs that agreed to announce the majority government. So there you have it. They're not even going to wait. So instead of Zabari, we may have Barzani as the president. So another issue that's come up, and it's kind of big, word came out today that Iran is about 2 months, 3 months away from having completed weapons-grade uranium, plutonium, for a nuclear weapon. In other words, they'll be nuclear capable within a couple of months. So thanks to Obama administration, both in his first, second, and now third term, Iran is accomplishing what they wanted all along. We know that Iran was chosen to be the people who control the Middle East as part of this globalist agenda. This is why when Obama was in office, this so-called nuclear agreement wasn't even a nuclear agreement at all. They still allowed them to create a nuclear weapon, and they knew it all along. Now that Obama's in there for his third term, he continued to allow Iran to create the bomb. I told you when Biden first got into office, and they were talking about how they were going to continue building the nuclear weapon in spite of Trump. But they definitely could move forward once Biden was in office because he wouldn't do anything. This is why he dragged his butt for so long before even trying to get to the negotiation tables about their nuclear program. He just gave them time to continue working on it. That was a plan all along. Trump was doing everything he could to discourage it, and there was 2 hits on their nuclear sites. One was a hack that went in there and messed up with their electronics. Another one was a fire that broke out. There was a lot of sabotaging taking place under the Trump administration, and that has stopped, and now Iran is a couple months away from having a fully operable nuclear weapon, which should make everybody there in the Middle East concerned, especially if you're Israel. I'm not sure why Israel hasn't struck Iran yet. I guess because they can't count on the United States to support them anymore, considering Biden's in office. So now a lot of people should understand what it was that Trump was trying to do. I know they're going to try to push off and blame him, but you see, the rules that was set by the Obama administration wasn't really there to stop Iran from building the bomb at all. Now they're about a couple months away from having the bomb, which is now a major threat to not only the United States and their allies, but especially Israel. Remember, they want to wipe Israel off the map. This is concerning news. This is why you seen Kwani come over and talk to Sauder, telling him he has to promise that Iraq will not be used as a launching pad at their nuclear sites to stop this from happening. Now you know why. So that's not good news, but let's see what happens. Hopefully, somebody will get in there and stop it before it gets too much further along. That's it for now. Hit the thumbs up button. If you're not a subscriber, please do so, because when you do, it helps out the channel, and I surely do appreciate it. And I'll catch you later. I'm out.